What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, we're going to go over the new information about your stimulus checks from Nancy Pelosi and also from the Fed. And if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check updates. My wife and I do hours of research for you guys every single day so we can bring you the newest up-to-date stimulus check information, unemployment information, and related news every single day. And we're currently at about 199,000 subscribers. So help us hit our goal of 200,000. When we do hit 200,000, my wife's going to come on camera with me for one of the videos, and we're going to thank you guys and talk with you guys a little bit. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate every single one of you guys. And also don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. We've been getting a lot of information from Fed presidents and also from former Fed officials in the last 7 days that the U.S. economy needs more stimulus to slash the risk of a double dip recession. A double dip recession is exactly how it sounds. It's a second dip of the economy. And they're predicting that if unemployment money runs out or if we don't get more stimulus packages for not only the people but also for businesses, that there might not be enough money to go around to keep the economy going with it being so bad without stimulus money. We're still getting about 1 million new unemployment claims every single week. So every single week we have 1 million new people filing for unemployment that weren't on unemployment previously. And you guys know there's a lot of businesses such as restaurants, the travel industry, airlines that and cruise ships that are just completely decimated right now. And all of that stuff has a trickle up and a trickle down effect. If businesses don't have money to hire people and people don't have jobs to go back to, then without stimulus, the economy is in big trouble. And the crazy part is the stock market is at an all-time high right now during a pandemic, and most businesses are struggling except for businesses like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon that thrive off people being at home, shopping from home, watching TV from home. This is the S&P 500. You can see it's near an all-time high for the year. Let me show you this chart here at 5 years, and you can just see how astronomically high the stock market is. If I change this to max, check that out. Look at where the stock market is right now in relation to past years. We are at all-time astronomical highs, and this just does not make sense to me. I know that the Fed and the government is pumping stimulus in, but for thousands of stocks to be trading near their all-time high is just crazy to me. I mean, and if we don't get more stimulus, you can just expect this to probably drop by 30 to 50%. There's no way it can continue on this path with companies reporting earnings based on the pandemic right now, unless they're a company that thrives off people staying at home more. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, but the stock market being at all-time high is just, it's mind-boggling to me. And honestly, I think the stock market being at all-time highs is one of the main things preventing us from getting more stimulus. If you remember when the stock market crashed back in March, and also back in 2008 when we had the real estate collapse and the stock market crashed really hard in both scenarios, what was the first thing they did? They passed more stimulus. That's when we got the first stimulus check. That's when they added the unemployment boost. That's when they sent out money for businesses, bailout money for the airlines. And in 2008, it was bailout money for banks and for Wall Street. When the stock market crashes, that's when they rush in to give more stimulus, and they typically pass it very fast. So the stock market being at an all-time high is one of the major things that is preventing us from getting more stimulus right now, because when they look at stock market, they think that business is great. They think that business is thriving. I mean, how could it not be thriving? It's at an all-time high. It's a very misleading statistic because there's so many businesses like we just discussed with restaurants, the travel industry, you know, theme parks. There's just so many businesses that are struggling and down like 25 to 50% right now. And if that theme continues, typically businesses that are down by 25 to 50% go out of business in the short term. They don't even last very long. So just keep that in mind in regard to stimulus, that Wall Street and the stocks are actually kind of hurting us right now to getting more stimulus. Nancy Pelosi, or as some are starting to call her, Negative Nancy, is starting to budge a little bit on how much she'd be willing to budge for on the next stimulus package. Before they were at 3.4 trillion, and she said she'd be willing to come down a trillion, so 2.4 trillion. She's now saying she's willing to come down to 2.2 trillion, and that's with negotiations not even really started big time. So if she can get to 2 trillion, maybe under 2 trillion, I think that we could have a deal for the larger stimulus package. Also, I think the closer and closer the election comes, the more antsy and more willing to come up the Republicans are going to be, because their number one priority is getting the president reelected, and they really need to get a stimulus check out and more unemployment money, which is probably going to run out in the next month or so. They need to extend that and get stimulus checks out before the election to give the president a much higher chance of getting reelected. Speaking of the president, did you see his hour-long speech yesterday on national TV? It was a much, much longer speech than Joe Biden gave, and man, he was attacking Joe Biden pretty hard. Nancy Pelosi says that Joe Biden shouldn't even debate with Trump and that she wouldn't legitimize a conversation with him, saying that President Donald Trump would belittle the presidential debates. And I think this is a very interesting point because there's been a lot of talk, a lot of hypothetical talk that Joe Biden might not do the presidential debate with President Donald Trump. And you guys can let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. But I think if he doesn't debate with President Donald Trump, I think that that might make Trump the winner, because if you don't even show up to the debates, man, I think that that's going to look very bad on Joe Biden. And if they do have a debate, I'm going to be glued to the TV because I think it's going to be basically a drama, comedy slash drama that I'm not going to want to miss, because I think it's going to be a complete hot mess with those two going back and forth. And I think there might be a lot of low blows in that debate. So we'll see. I definitely don't think it'll be a lot more on the presidential side, you know, the respect side. I think it might start off that way, but I think it's going to be a hot mess. President Donald Trump has also been saying in recent days that he wants Joe Biden to be drug tested before the debates. And man, the low blows are already starting, and they're not even in debates. I mean, if they're in a debate one-on-one, it is going to be completely just crazy. I don't even have words for it. You guys can let me know what you think, but man, I think it's going to be crazy. President Trump said on Wednesday that he will request both Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and himself take drug tests before the first presidential debate in September, making the inflammatory claim that he believes that Biden's improvement during the Democratic primary debates was the result of drugs. Trump says, "We are going to call for a drug test," he said during an interview in the Oval Office with Washington Examiner. It wasn't that he was Winston Churchill, because he wasn't, but it was a normal, boring debate. You know, nothing amazing happened. Trump continued, "I don't know how he could have been so incompetent in his debate performances and then all of a sudden be okay against Bernie." He says, "All I can tell you is that I'm pretty good at this stuff. I watched him in debates with all of the different people. He was close to incompetent, if not incompetent. And against Bernie, he was normal." And I say, how does that happen? Man, It's like a soap opera out there, and it's gonna be like I think that it's gonna be a head-to-head war if they're both standing there next to each other. I think there's gonna be a lot of low blows, and it'll be sad yet entertaining. Let me know your thoughts. And you can click on these top videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.